my name is Nathan Taylor, otherwise known as Sockmatician, and this is a tutorial to accompany the Sockmatician's double knitted brioche ebook. This particular video shows how to work the picked up increases in double knitted brioche. The picked up increase is the third of the three types of floating increases, so it casts on a pair of stitches in between existing columns of stitches here. But unlike the yarn over increase or the tubular increase, you're never going to be working with single strands. You're always going to be working with double strand pairs of stitches, exactly as you normally do. So every stitch always has its yarn over, regardless of which color and which type of stitch it is. And it's very, very simple to do. But first of all, I want to just have a little look at the structure of what's going on between our two needles here. On my right needle, I've got the last purl stitch that I worked there in the blue, and on my left needle, the first stitch is the first knit stitch. The next stitch to be worked will be a knit stitch. Between those stitches, you can see the diagonal lines of the two colours of yarn overs. I've got the knit coloured yarn overs going diagonally from top right to bottom left, and the blue, that's the brown ones over there, and the blue ones going from top left to bottom right. Can you see just where the top two yarn overs cross over? Just there. That is the hole that I'm calling in the book the sweet spot. You can see it's a little diamond there just on my finger. It's just the point beneath the top two yarn overs where they cross. So all we're going to do, starting of course with the knit coloured yarn at the back of the work and the pearl coloured yarn at the front of the work, all we're going to do is we're going to work a pair of double knitted brioche stitches into that hole there. It couldn't be easier. So I'm just going to go in from front to back into that sweet spot, wrap with the knit coloured yarn and come up. I'm not going to slip anything off the needle because there's nothing on the needle. Work the yarn over maneuver there with the pearl coloured yarn, then the knit coloured yarn, and then I'm going to purl into the same hole coming in from behind, still underneath those two yarn overs, wrap with my pearl coloured yarn and pull the new loop backwards there. And there's still nothing to slip off the needle because we're not working with stitches, we're working to the gaps between the stitches. So then I can just carry on and work the next pair of double knitted brioche stitches into the ordinary stitches. What that's done is it's just pulled up those two yarn overs, creates a little bit of a hole there but not too prominently, and we've got all the way along our needle, you can see brown stitch with blue yarn over, blue stitch with brown yarn over, brown stitch with blue yarn over, blue stitch with brown yarn over. That's the two new stitches. They've already got their yarn overs in place. They're not single strand increases. Let's show you that again. We'll work one more pair of double knitted brioche stitches to get a little bit further away. And then there's that hole. You can always see it's just lurking there beneath the top two yarn overs. So first of all, we're going to go in as if to knit, because that's what we're going to do from front to back. Wrap the knit coloured yarn and pull up a knit coloured strand, leaving everything on the needle because they're not the stitches yet. Yarn over with the pearl coloured yarn, yarn forward with the knit coloured yarn, and then come back into the same place, but coming from the back to front this time, because we're going to purl with our pearl coloured yarn. And there we have our new pair of stitches. I'll work another couple of pairs to get away from that spot. And before I show you what it looks like on the other side, I may as well show you how to work multiple increases into the same spot. It's really, really simple. You just keep working pairs of stitches into that same sweet spot. So here we go. Here's the first pair, and then coming from back to front and purling into that one there. And then without changing anything, without moving on, I'm going to work another knit stitch into the same spot there, like so. Work my yarn over maneuvers, and then purl another purl stitch into exactly the same spot. That's two pairs of stitches cast on into the same place. And guess what? We can keep on doing that as many times as we want, or as dictated by the pattern, into the same spot. That's three already. Let's work a fourth one all into exactly the same spot. This is a huge increase, I should say. And then I shall finally move on to the next pair, just so we can look back. Why not finish the row actually? Just so we can look back and have a look at what that has done. Oops, missed that one there. Can you see, if I pull that onto the cable, you can really see what's going on. I've got this big hole there which has appeared, very attractive, and all of these stitches, 4 pairs of stitches, there's 8 stitches worked into that hole, and they all sort of seem to wrap around from top to bottom, from one side to the next, from back to front, whichever way you want to look at it, without any interruption at all, and every single stitch has its yarn over. So we turn the work and come back to that spot on the other side. Obviously I'm going to be showing you the multiple picked up increase before showing you the single ones, because that's the one I'm going to come back to first, but I'll just whiz my way back to it, and you can see what you need to do when you get back to it, which is essentially nothing. You just work the new pairs of double knitted brioche stitches exactly as you would expect to, all the way over the top of that hole. One more pair to go before I get back to the new pairs of stitches. Here it comes. There we go. As you can see, they are going to just present themselves to you exactly as you want them to. Just make sure you're always working into the stitch with a yarn over, unlike the tubular increase or the yarn over increase, which are single strand increases. So you can see every time I'm working into a stitch plus a yarn over maneuvers, and then a stitch plus a yarn over to purl as well, all the way over the top of that multiple increase there. Huge increase, and you can keep going. You can do many more than that. Not sure if there is an upper limit. It just depends how much yarn you've got, I guess. There we go. You can see how all of those stitches are becoming columns of stitches, just like that. It's really attractive, really effective, I think. But here we are, back to where we got to for our single picked up increases. And again, you can see there's a knit stitch with a pearl coloured yarn over and a purl stitch with a knit coloured yarn over. And that's exactly what you'd expect to see. So you just work an ordinary pair of double knitted brioche stitches over the top and you're on your way. That's all you need to know about the picked up floating increase. Zip!